When you walk into the office, the plant, wherever it is that you work, and you walk in and you just kind of walk right by people. You just kind of walk by people and you don't say anything. You kind of have a little bit of a disgusted look maybe on your face, or you're preoccupied and you walk by people. You don't say good morning, you don't say hello, you don't say how was the weekend. What do people start to think about you? Unapproachable, miserable, maybe arrogant, self-absorbed, all those things. All just from watching you walk by without saying, how are you? Now, let's be serious here. When we say, how are you doing, do we want to hear the truth? As Jack Nicholson would say, you can't handle the truth, right? Because the truth is, or the truth may be, well, you know what? Had a little bit of a disagreement with my spouse. The dog puked on the carpet last night. That was a bit of a problem. I really need payday to come because my bank account's a little bit on the light side, and I've run my credit card bill up a little higher than I'd like. And do you really want to hear all that? Usually not. Now, there are some people who share that quite openly and freely with us. And those are the people that we do kind of pretend that we don't want to talk to them very much. So the reality is that when we ask people, how are you doing? Most of the time we hear fine, okay, good. Maybe we hear a little tidbit. So the purpose of the communication, if you think about it, is quite inefficient. I mean, it really doesn't accomplish a lot. But if you don't do it, you appear like you're unapproachable and unfriendly. So what it is even though it doesn't have a high value content, it's still really important to do those what we call cliche things. You need to smile, you need to say good morning, you need to ask how people are doing, and if you don't, you just appear to be distant and aloof. And as leaders, one of the first things we need to do is we need to have people feel that we care about them, that we're approachable. Those are some of the characteristics that we covered off in our previous module. The next level of communication is this head-level communication. This is like the facts and the feelings. In fact, the old character Joe Friday from Dragnet, just the facts, just the facts. So the problem is if you're just the facts type of communicator and all you talk about is here's what needs to get done, here's what's happening, here's the problem that needs to be solved, and you're always dealing with things in a logical, factual way, what you're going to find is that you're not reaching and touching people at an emotional level. So we're hitting people with the facts and the information, but we're really not building a bridge or a connection to them at an emotional level. So stereotypically, men will be a bit like this. All right? They're really all about the facts, what's going on. They're really not interested, or they don't communicate at an emotional level. So what we need to do if we're going to be an effective communicator is we need to get good at doing all three levels, and the next level is called heart level communication. This is the part where you say things like, gee, you appear a little bit frustrated, or I can see that you seem to be a bit upset. Those are empathy types of statements. If we're good at reaching in at an emotional level, that must have made you feel really good. If we share stuff like that with people, we start to build connections that are beyond just the work. And remember early on when we talked about task and process and how we needed a balance between those two? Well, heart level communication is what you're doing. You're taking the head level stuff, the task stuff, and you're adding to it this heart level dimension, which is, hey, you look a little puzzled, or something appears to be a little bit wrong. What's going on? And you have that connection with people at a much deeper level. That's when you see leaders who can connect, whether you're watching them give speeches on TV or you're just dealing with them, what you get a sense at is the ones who really care, they're able to show it, they're able to emote a little bit more. And of course, as you can probably realize, it's great for relationships with spouses, kids, and coworkers as well. Now, I'm not advocating that you have to go around giving everyone big hugs all the time. I mean, if that's what you do in your workplace, that's fine. The reality is, though, that just being able to communicate with people at a level that's at a heart level is going to make you different from most other leaders in terms of your communication style.